Okay, welcome everybody to this evening's stream. So hopefully you've all seen the Neon Coast trailer now. I see some pretty good things about it in chat. So yeah, it's been a really fun one to make actually, a really amazing set of assets to build. So what we're going to do this evening is we're going to go through and show you some of the features that are going to be coming with Neon Coast tomorrow, but also we're going to go through and just have a play with some of the assets. So I figured just before we start, I'm just going to play that trailer one more time and really give it some really good airtime. So we'll be back in a moment. Okay, cool. So here we are in Neon Coast. Oh, let me just turn that music off. So I'm joined this evening by Adam. So Adam, do you want to say hello?
Hi everybody, how are we doing?
Cool. Okay, so we are, I guess I should just start by saying that we are actually on an internal build at the moment. Obviously, Neon Coast isn't actually out until tomorrow. So there'll be a short hour maintenance window. All the details you need to know are on Discord. So do make sure you head over to discord.gg/Crayta if you are new here to get kind of all the updates as the build goes out tomorrow. So I think we're planning to be kind of warning around 2:15. And then from 2:30 to 3:30, the game will be in maintenance mode. And during that time, we'll be pushing out the update across EGS and Stadia. So by 3:30, if not a little bit sooner, we'll be able to open the game up again and everybody can jump in and have a look at Neon Coast. So we are on an internal build here. So there may be certain things you might see that aren't actually part of the exact build. I think this is pretty much exactly what we're going to get tomorrow, but just to let you know, there may be the odd little thing you might spot that is a little bit different. The games obviously are all a little bit different. There's kind of chance that things in the library in the editor might look slightly different because, as I say, we are in a development version of the game. But this is pretty much exactly what you can expect to see tomorrow. So the first big change you can see obviously is our seasonal hub, is our Neon Coast hub, and Adam's going to talk us through a little bit about what this kind of the big changes here, because as you can kind of see from straight off the bat, it is kind of fundamentally quite a big change to the foundation of the hub, right?
Yeah, it really is. So as well as the theming changes that we normally do, there's been some structural changes here as well. So we've laid out this central area a little bit differently, as you can see with the game cards here, and hopefully those are a little bit easier to use if you walk up to one. We've improved the UI on those as well, so that we're no longer covering up the images at all. So we're giving full space to the images in the same way that on the play page we've given full space to the game cards as well. What else have we got? We've got a new game queue system, which might be quite good if you want to just come back and follow me over here. We won't actually be able to show this because I've set it up for 4 players, and obviously there's only 2 of us on the stream at the moment. But the idea of the game queue system is just to help make sure that the multiplayer games are getting enough players to be playable. So I can sign up to the queue. As you can see, there's now 1 player signed up. You can sign up as well if you like, Russ.
Yeah.
There you go. And you'll see at the bottom there, you're now signed up to the queue. You can go and just do whatever in the hub, go play the obstacle course or whatever you want to do. And once that reaches 4 players, there'll be a short countdown, then it'll play one of the multiplayer games that's selected randomly for you and send all 4 players or however many have joined the queue to that game. So that should ensure more multiplayer games are getting populated better.
Yeah, that's really quite nice actually. I like that as a way to kind of, you say, like, you don't get stuck on a static screen, but the fact you sort of sign up and then you can just run off and carry on, you know, doing beach balls and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's just a sort of passive thing you can just leave on in the background and hope that a couple of other people join you. You've got a game there. There's a few sort of old features from hubs that we've kept along. So, of course, the jukebox system is still here. You can open up the jukebox, check out the records you've got, and play those as well.
And that's cross season, isn't it? So obviously, anyone who's been
It
collecting
is.
records across the previous hubs maintains that collection. So the idea is, I guess, people, they want to go for the full collection across seasons here.
Yep. If you open it up, obviously this isn't live, so it's not got our proper data, but you'll see you can tab through the other seasons, see the other records you've collected and play older records as well as new things that you collect in Neon Coast. We've also got the daily collection, so you've got to find 10 beach balls around the hub. I found 9 so far,
Ooh.
and I'm quite annoyed because I wanted to find all 10 before the stream started, and there's one more I can't find. So yeah, that's still a thing, and obviously you get player trails for finding all 10, which is quite fun. We've got this obstacle course here. I've already run it, and I've got a time of 41.3 seconds. So do you want to give it a go, Russ?
41.3.
See what sort of time you can get?
Yeah.
Yeah, 41.3.
Okay.
Now the fun thing about this is it's slightly randomized each day. So it's not massive changes each day, but it should change up some of the obstacles occasionally. So you might play one day, come back the next day, and some things have moved around a bit. So it's worth checking it out each day and seeing what the changes are. And there's a fresh leaderboard for each day
I was
that you
going to
can check out
say,
as well.
yeah, is that like a daily reset on the leaderboard then?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's correct. Oh, and also if you fall off now, you don't die instantly. You can choose to swim sections if you want, but of course that's a little bit slower than running them. But if you do fall in the water, it flashes that prompt to say you can press R just to reset to the last checkpoint. Checkpoint being the last corner that you passed. So that should hopefully help with any frustration where you might sort of fall off and want to quickly get reset. Ooh, I did 43 seconds then.
Oh, I did 54 because I got a little bit stuck when I landed in the water.
If you look back, you'll see fireworks as well once you've passed. They last for a few seconds.
Ah, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so if you land in the water, you can always just press R and it'll reset you to the nearest corner. Okay, what else have we got? I think, oh, sometimes on this side, for 5 minutes in every 15, there'll be a shell collection game. During that time, if you collect a shell, you'll then get 30 seconds to collect as many shells as you can. You'll earn points. Different shells are worth different amounts of points. And you basically just see how many points you can score and get on the leaderboard for that as well. So that's just a fun little thing that's on for a third of the time. Not currently active, but maybe it will be in a minute. What's time? Yeah, it might be active in about a minute's time.
Oh, I see.
Then over on this side, so we've got some other new things going on here. We've got some store items advertised around here, just to make it feel that little bit more metaversey, if you like. We've got a diving board. Why not? Jump on into the pool. And we've got another jukebox behind here. If you want to play a record, Russ, have you got a record? You should get one first
I
time you
have
do the
got a
obstacle
record,
course.
yes.
Yeah, so if you want to come around to this DJ booth at the back and hop up on there, if you play that record and then come around the front, you'll see all the DJ set lights up to the beat of the record.
Let me just check. I've actually got my music turned on, so I may have.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I've got it turned off. Hopefully, we can start getting some music coming through on the stream now.
Yeah, there we go. So you'll see we've got kind of equalizer thing and some lights moving around. Just a fun little thing to go with the jukebox system. I think that's pretty much everything in this hub. There's also the tutorial. I don't know if you wanted to show it. You can always reset the tutorial at any time and see it all again.
I can do, yeah. I mean, people might have noticed I've been having the messages pop up across the bottom from, where I've been doing various kind of contextual things, right? So when I got near the water, it told me about swimming and things like that.
Yep, so that's all intended to help some of the newer users just understand all the different controls available in Crayta. Because obviously we want players to spend some time in the hub and actually get to grips with how to control their player fully before going into a game. But yeah, this is kind of the other major part of this hub, which will be in all future hubs, which is the full tutorial as well. So hopefully we'll have a lot more players understanding what to do before moving into other games.
Nice.
And then I think we've pretty much covered everything that's in this hub for now.
Yeah, one thing I was just going to say actually, and it's a kind of a new addition to the API, is over on the store page, over here, you might have noticed that I got the prompt to open the store. So you can now kind of open that from the Lua API. So you might have a prompt in game that takes you to the store. So here I can interact with this, and it takes the player to the kind of the store page, which is a nice little kind of tie into that side of things.
That's true, and it reminds me of another feature that we can't actually see at the moment, but over here on this area that's currently a blank wall, if there's news set up to show in the hub, then we'll see a news billboard appear here. So that only turns on occasionally, but again, there's another place there that will show news, which will often, I think, be kind of the same news that you see in the nav menu, but it's just bringing elements of the menu. Sorry, when I say nav menu, like the main menu.
Yeah.
It's just bringing some more elements of that into the hub, and again, you can interact with that, and it'll open up the main news as well. So yeah, trying to bring a bit more of that side of the game into this 3D hub space as well.
Yeah,
Okay.
nice. Yeah. Cool. I mean, it looks great as well, and I think we'll touch upon this a little bit more, obviously, when we get into the editor. But this hub, will, I assume, is taking full benefit or making full use of all the new sky meshes, the new world settings, the new way that we can control the environment. Because the sun looks amazing over that water. This looks really nice.
Yeah, it does look really good over there. Obviously, Lucy, our art director, had quite a lot of input on this hub as well, so she did a great job designing things like the tiki bar and obviously all the world settings going on in the beach area. It's really nice.
Awesome. Okay, well, that's your new hub. As I say, that's going to be the new place to take kind of you through Crayta. You can launch games from here, you can play games, you can hook up with people, you can do all sorts of various things through the hub. So it's a really, really great space to explore. So what we're going to do now is, I guess, we'll just jump straight into the editor, and we'll show you some of the features that are going to be kind of part of the update. And while we're doing it, we'll kind of build out using a lot of the new assets that you can expect to see as well. So I'm going to do a new team CTF. So we're going to build from scratch, and we'll just call it Beach CTF for now. Think of a better name as we go through. So the idea is we're going to kind of just make some sort of beach-based capture the flag game. The main reason we've gone for capture the flag, at least for a combat game, is to show off one of the big updates. Actually, part of this update is improved gunplay. Let's pick a random one of these for now. There we go. So we have quite a few things to show. Obviously, all the new assets. We've got the new world settings that I've already mentioned. We'll show off a bit of photo mode. We'll show off the help UI loading screens. There's a lot of things we can do now to help onboard players into our games. We'll show off the combat update. There's a huge amount of stuff coming into the game tomorrow. So really exciting time to be a creator and obviously also be a player to make the most of these sorts of things. Let me share this with you, Adam. I think we're friends on this version of the game.
Who knows?
Who knows? There we go.
We have so many different game versions.
Yeah, yeah, can't keep track.
Been granted access to edit a game.
That'll be the one.
Beach CTF.
That's it. Cool. So as I mentioned at the start, obviously, if you are new here, if you've kind of followed us over from the trailer, then firstly, welcome to Crayta. And secondly, I'd highly encourage you to jump over and join our Discord. So that's discord.gg/Crayta. There's a really good place to keep up with everyone in the community, and also a lot of the devs. We all kind of hang out there during the day. We can ask questions and do all that sort of stuff. So yeah, discord.gg/Crayta. Really good place to kind of keep up to date with all of that sort of stuff if you like what you see. I can see you've already assumed one of your new poses. It's not that horrific, is it? Cool. Okay, so I think if you just want to, I guess, just start building in the background, I suppose is probably the best way to do it. And then I'll.
Do you want to block out the beach, or shall I have a go at that?
Yeah, if you want to block out the beach, and I'll just start laying down some of the assets. I think some of the meshes, and we'll have a little look at what we're working with.
I will do the beach sideways, so
yeah,
it'll make sense.
Okay, yeah, I'm trying to think how to split the CTF side of it up. Do we do kind of? I guess we'd have just the sea down one side, or do you want to do this? Do you want to do it like a little? We could do it on like a little desert island, couldn't we? That work?
I was thinking the sea down one side, so we can have the other side with like some skyscrapers or something.
Oh yeah, that
Kind of
works.
like the scene you've got in the trailer.
Yeah, like the boulevard scene. Yeah, that would work. We can make use of the packages. We have a little look through chat. Actually, there's quite a lot of chat going on here. She's great. Iceland says, "Got it." I guess that's a response to a question. DJ says, "Oh my god, the sky again! I love it. The light." Where do I put the code in on Stadia? So if you, I see AJ's done a giveaway there. So if you do want to take part in the giveaway, then do hang around because there may be more coming later in the stream. If not, make sure you tune in tomorrow where we can expect a lot more giveaways on our launch day stream. So same time, same channels tomorrow. AJ will be hosting a play along and playing a bunch of games. So hopefully, we can make use of some of the new updates that creators have managed to kind of push through. So if you do get to take part in the giveaway, the way you need to do it is you need to go to the EGS store. So the giveaway codes are all linked to EGS. However, if you are a Stadia player, you can still link your game. You can still essentially go to the EGS store and claim the battle pass. And then what you need to do is install the EGS version and just link your Stadia and your EGS accounts, and then you'll get every benefit of the kind of the giveaway will go to your Stadia account. So it's a little bit more work, but it's pretty straightforward. So again, ask on Discord if you have any problems with that sort of stuff. Cool. Okay, so beach down one side. I can see you changing the sky down there. That's good. So we're going to go for like a 50-50 split, I guess.
Yeah, I think so. Beach this side and then kind of a bit of road and city the other side.
That sounds good. Oh, I'm getting a ping from AJ saying that I was wrong on that. Okay, maybe I was wrong. Maybe there is a way to claim it through Stadia. So ignore everything I just said.
Well, that's quite dark.
Okay, so basically we have keys for Stadia and EGS now separately. So I guess the giveaway will make it clear which side of the tracks it's on. So ignore everything I just said. If it's a Stadia giveaway, you can go through Stadia and claim that. And I think AJ shared the link. That's stadia.google.com/settings. So there's a link, place to redeem any keys on the settings page for Google Stadia. If it's an EGS giveaway, then obviously it's through the EGS launcher. So sorry for the confusion. Hopefully that clears that up. Cool, right, let's get to this then. So, as always, we have our tags, which is a really good way to find assets in the store. So you'll find we have a new one here, if I can see it, Neon Coast. Okay, so Neon Coast comes with all sorts of really fantastic meshes. It's a really good way to kind of really create that kind of 80s kind of vibe we're going for. It's almost like not specifically an 80s thing, but it's almost that Miami Vice kind of feel. It's the the Miami Beach vibe. So we've got quite a lot of different things we can do here. We've got the sort of the tiki bars and the bar counters, as we saw in the hub, as Adam mentioned. So we've got some really nice sort of entities here. And as always, we kind of, wherever we can, we like to put in the little details for things like the Crayta logo. So it's always fun to try and find the new meshes and the new entities that have the Crayta logo kind of hidden inside them. The train did a really good job of kind of putting it in the valves and stuff at the front of the coach. We can get our drinks on here as well. So our little cocktail umbrella glasses, all sorts of things like that. Quite a few more kits this time as well. So kits are a really nice way to organize meshes together. So instead of having all the individual components in the library, you can kind of have the overall kit, and then you can break that kit down into smaller things. So for example, I can drag this beach condo table with parasol. The parasol is a separate thing, so I can kind of position that however I like, or I can choose to have those as individual things from the library. So really good way to kind of organize the library. What else do we have here? We have a few bar stools. Let's drag a couple of these in. Okay, I guess I can keep going with this little beach vibe here. So what else might we want to add to this? We have some big empty drinks, I think, as well. This, yeah, here's the jumbo one. So we have some slightly larger ones, so novelty size ones, or they make for really good pickups and things like that. So the jumbo ones work really well for that. We'd need to get this in somewhere. I feel like it'd be wasted if we didn't. So let's stick in the big wheel. I'm going to drop this here. So the big wheel is a really, really nice asset, really well lit. And again, it kind of comes as a separate kit. So dropping this in here, we can see that we've got individual components. So all of the individual cars are separate. So you can choose to kind of not include them. You can animate those to wiggle. You can have the whole thing spin around. Obviously, by default, the cars come with it, but I'm pretty sure the maths and the lure isn't too difficult, and I'm sure there'll be a package available pretty sharpish from one of our lure experts making it, so when it rotates that the cars will kind of sit how you'd imagine them to. Lots of new things to play with there. I think DJ's pointed out in chat already, but yeah, you might notice there's a bunch of new cars, and each of these cars come in a separate kit. Some of them don't. Some of them are kind of recolors of the existing one. So we've had the blue car that's been in the game for a while. We've got a few different color variants of this, but this one is still a fixed kind of vehicle. There's no individual entities on that. But one of my favorite new ones is our new cop car. And again, if you kind of expand this out, you can see that you get individual tires, individual doors with the right pivot points. So you can get some kind of nice bits of cover in a shooter, perhaps. You can do all sorts of different things. You know, with that, you can really pull it apart. You can start to animate those and lure. Ison says, what shortcut did you use to rotate the mesh? F2. F1 will select, F2 will rotate. So if you hover over that at the top, you can see there. Yeah, I learn something new every day. Got a pretty cool cop car. And as I say, we've got different versions of, we've got a sports car as well in 3 different colours. And this sports car is, again, the same. It comes with the individual wheels and the individual doors. And the nice thing is the doors have the pivot points set up in such a way that makes sense, right? So to kind of rotate them by default, automatically rotates from the hinge, which is quite a nice little touch. And you can mix and match, which is kind of nice. So yeah, you could start to have different coloured things on cars. So I could drag a yellow door onto here, and we could have kind of a slightly modified sports car that has yellow doors, because, you know, why not? So yeah, all that kind of freedom and flexibility to really start to pull those apart, which is quite a nice way to do that. Oh, and the steering wheel is separate as well, so you can have the steering wheel move. Oh, I know about F2. It looked like you were rotating at 45 degrees in steps with a shortcut as well. Was I? It was rotating 45 degrees without, like, that's just the natural behavior while it's got rotate snap on. If you hold shift and turn rotate snap off, maybe that's what you're thinking. So with rotate snap on and the snap degrees at 45, it's automatically rotating. If that's not what you mean, then I'm not entirely sure what you saw. Maybe I did something I didn't even know I did it. Okay, cool. So what else do we have here? We have a few speedboats I can see out on the bay. That looks pretty cool. So what might they need? They might need a lifeguard chair. So some nice kind of typical beach scenes. A few different kind of beach chairs. I'll copy and paste a couple of these around pretty quickly. What else have we got here? We've got quite a few things for like under the sea. So you might have noticed in the trailer at one point we have the character jump into the ocean, and we kind of get a little bit of a fly through under the water. And what we see is a lot of there's a few things already in the game. So some of the seaweed and stuff was there, but we get a lot more kind of options now in terms of decorating a coral seabed, which is pretty nice. To go with the chairs, we also have some nice classic stripy deck chairs. Okay, a few bits of driftwood, just little things to kind of decorate the beach with, kind of making it a little bit more kind of natural, as you'd imagine. We've got palm trees with lights. So you might have noticed in the hub, all the palm trees had lights, but the lights are a separate mesh, so you can turn those off and on with visibility, or you can just remove them entirely. And that's, you know, a nice little way to have perhaps a game where at night the lights turn on, so you could have all those lights appear at night with a kind of a light primitive to actually give a little bit of light off. DJ set. So we saw the DJ set in the We saw it in the hub, and it's a nice kind of pretty cool one actually. It's got quite a nice effect on the front here where you get the Crayta logo, but then as you move around it kind of blurs and sort of plays a little bit, so it's just a nice little kind of mirror or kind of screen effect on that. What else do we have here? Food carts, ice cream vendor, hot dog stand. So a couple of pretty cool and again parts of the kit, so you can break these down a little bit more. Things like the sign and the wheels can be changed and removed. So if you just fancied having a jumbo, like a massive jumbo hot dog in your game, then you've got an extra large hot dog now that's available. So pretty cool couple of items there. Wonder if anyone's going to make any like food cart racing games. That'd be pretty fun. What else do we have? We have the inflatable. So there's all sorts of inflatable bits. I think they're scattered throughout the library here, but we can see again we saw the kind of the obstacle course that's in the hub. So there's lots of different kind of bits of inflatable. So some fun ways to make new obbies out in the ocean, perhaps. Let's skip through these a bit. Neon tube fonts. This is a really quite cool one actually, and something that Tak, our art outsource manager, one of the kind of the senior artists at the studio, did a really good job. Really pushed himself to kind of put this together. So he's created essentially an entire library of individual kind of characters. So we had this for Dark Circus with the big kind of circus lights, whereas this time it's a little bit kind of more of a free-flowing font. So it's quite nice actually that a lot of the characters you've seen from probably some of our promotional videos about kind of the leading up to Neon Coast, if you position them in such a way that actually kind of spells out like a handwritten word, they link up in a really nice way that, you know, it flows together. It's really quite clever collection of meshes, so I'd highly recommend people make use of this. Obviously, you know, kind of within reason. It's a really nice way to kind of add little bits of detail to the game, in terms of like signage perhaps, or just ways to make kind of neon bars that are called, you know, you might call it like, I don't know, we might have something called the Crayta bar, and actually be able to write that in neon font. It's quite cool. Few more inflatables. You might have noticed a recent social media takeover of two certain characters. I'm just going to place these here. Best of friends, our duck and our flamingo. We've also got a third one here, the Pegasus. So they're pretty fun. Again, pretty nice, interesting asset. I'd like to see, you know, I'd be interested to see what sort of things people do with these as we go, as you know, as the season launches. Skateboards, surfboards, all sorts of fun stuff. Swimming pool, diving boards. We've got the track. So here we are, roller coaster track. So this is a pretty big one. Pretty cool pack. So again, snaps together really nicely as a kit, and this is a really good one to use the Ed's TrackWorks package. So if you haven't seen the tutorials from Andy, we've got a few tutorials on how to use TrackWorks, and I believe there's one in the works, which is going to essentially take what we have kind of already done with Andy's tutorials, but kind of do it more specifically for the roller coaster. So the roller coaster is going to kind of be a really fun one to use. I've been playing with it a lot today, putting a small showcase world together, and it's actually, yeah, it works really cool. Stick a camera on the front, attach the players to it, and you can really create some pretty cool roller coasters. So, how are you getting on, Adam?
Not too bad. I've done a bit of a beachy area, as you can see, and I've tried to box that off with a kind of, it's not a pier, but whatever you call it. You know, when you go to a beach and there's like the walls that go into the sea. I don't know what they're called. But it's a thing.
It's funny.
So
I keep thinking I'm going to do the same, right? And it's like, obviously the whole pack is kind of got that like slightly more American vibe to it. It's, you know, it's very like Miami themed, but every time I try and make a beach at the minute in Crayta, it turns out like a very typical British beach. It has all the stuff that we expect to see from a beach, but obviously, you know, it's part of the fun. You know, you can kind of create them however you like.
I don't know what American beaches look like. This is, they can have a British one.
They can have a British beach. Cool. Okay, so that's starting to look pretty nice. So let's just say a really quick whistle stop tour through a bunch of the assets. There's a load there to play with. Obviously we've got a few new voxels as well. I don't know if this has the tag in quite the same way, but we've got new beaches or new kind of like sand. I think there might be some new neon. I should know. I was making the patch notes earlier. But there's a few more kind of new materials to play with. There's a whole load of new sounds actually. I was quite amazed by how many new sounds are in the game. There's a few people who might be quite interested in this. I don't know if Daigoro's around or needs to be told about this, but we have we have folders now in the sounds library. So the sounds library is obviously getting a little bit unwieldy. It's a massive amount of assets, so we can actually group these into more things now. And we have guitar notes and guitar chords. So we've seen a few music games being made, but it'd be quite interesting to see what people can do now, taking the piano stuff we had before and actually applying a new instrument to that. And who knows, by the end of it we could have a whole one-man band kind of game. That'd be pretty cool. Quicksand would be cool in a shooter. Could do some little pockets of quicksand. Really slow you down. What else do we have? I think that's it. I'm not sure we had any new effects, but there's an absolute full to the brim bursting with new content. This pack, it's a really huge amount of content, and the nice thing again is you can use all of the assets from this for free. These are just available to everybody. When the assets that you see here aren't behind the Neon Coast paywall, so these are just in the the editor for everybody to use, which is really quite nice. And obviously alongside everything else we've got, there's thousands of assets now to make games with, and you can really mix and match, make some pretty cool stuff. I feel like there's a lot of stuff here that would work really nicely with the Alien Conspiracy assets, for example. There's a lot of Americana stuff, the diners and things like that. You can kind of have like a nice diner seafront sort of thing. I've just seen Richards in chat, Adam. He says the sun shines on American beaches. But yeah, I think that is the major difference, isn't it? The Miami beaches are probably a lot hotter.
We've got the sun. The sun is shining, and we've got speedboats. You don't see that many nice speedboats on British beaches. You see little inflatables.
Inflatable speedboats. That's it.
Inflatable speedboats are pretty cool. Don't knock them.
Yeah, that's true. Cool. Okay, so while Adam continues to build out the world, let's have a look at the next kind of major feature. So while we're talking about the sun and we're talking about the sky, we'd already touched upon it obviously in the hub. So one of the big updates that's coming out in the build tomorrow is the new world settings. So the world settings have been reorganized, they've been a little bit tidied up, and they're also now using an entirely new sort of sky meshes system. So the way that the sky is put together is fundamentally different, which gives players a lot more freedom and flexibility to do things. And I feel like it makes it a little bit more simple as well. Before there was a lot of options and a lot of power, but it kind of felt a little bit kind of not confusing, but there was a lot of options that didn't really mean much to everybody. There were certain players who weren't professional artists. Even I struggled to understand a lot of what the options meant, but now everything is a little bit more friendly labeled. If you hover over it, you can get a little bit of explanation as to how it works with the API, so the coders can actually take those snippets and use them in code. If there's something that isn't available, so for example the moon color isn't currently available in the API, it'll tell you here by hovering over it, not directly accessible in script. So there's no more guessing about what will and won't work. You can kind of get that information a little bit more freely here, so it works quite nicely, and it's all collapsible. So instead of being a great big list like it was before, kind of collapse all these things and make it all a little bit easier to digest and understand, which is quite nice. So I'll have a little play with these now, perhaps. I know, Adam, you've probably done a little bit of playing with it, so I won't disturb it too much. But as always, we can do the start time of day, pretty straightforward. It's just when is the day going to start with a day length. So you can have a kind of day-night cycle as simple as just saying, I want my day to be 30 seconds, and then we're going to see the sun sets here, and you can really see things like the Ferris wheel kind of really showing off at night with those cool lights. And there's a lot of stuff you can do with lighting to really make this asset pack look fantastic. We get the moon's just gone over, I think, and then we get our sun come up. Okay, so as always, that was the same before. It's pretty straightforward. Let's just put our day back to 6:30.
6:30.
You had it at 5:30 before.
Yes, half 5. That's what I said.
Cool.
I said half 5. I was just talking in British summertime.
Oh, I see. Right, yeah. Sorry, I hadn't translated to the time zone you work in. Cool. Okay, lighting, pretty simple. Enable shadows. So if you wanted to go for a certain aesthetic that didn't have the kind of built-in shadows, so obviously Crayta is built on the Unreal 4 engine, so it's really powerful real-time lighting that you get in Editor. But if you didn't want to have that, then that's absolutely fine. It might help save a little bit of performance, or it might just kind of suit the way you want the game to look. Then you can disable that pretty quickly. The atmosphere.
Actually, I'm going to go a bit darker.
A bit darker. Ooh, nice. Ooh, yeah. Cool. So obviously under lighting we also have the sun, so you can change where the sun is, so you can really control where those shadows are. The color of the sun, so you could go much more orange, and you instantly get that really nice burning kind of hot evening sun that you'd see out in the coast. I'm going to make that a little bit less intense. I think a nice, like, that looks like a really nice evening sun now, and you get the kind of, obviously the nice kind of reflective light off the ocean and things like that. Really cool. The moon, I'm not going to worry too much about because we don't see the moon here, but again, if you wanted to have like a red moon at night, or you wanted to do certain things to make the nighttime kind of lit in certain ways, you've got those options. The general skylight, so this is quite a nice one I like to play with a lot more now, is you've basically got two sides of the coin here. You've got the daytime intensity and color, and you've got the nighttime intensity and color. So it's much easier to actually light a night scene now. So just as an example, if we make this go to night, so let's say it's 8:30. So much darker, and you can see we've got the moon is probably hidden behind cloud or somewhere. But essentially it's much darker here. But if I wanted it to be night, but I still want the players to see, I can pick up the nighttime intensity, and you can see here that it's automatically making the scene much brighter. I can also pick up the moon's intensity itself and make it almost look like it's daytime at night. You know, it's nice to have the freedom to do that sort of stuff now, and it's as simple as just dragging a couple of sliders around to play with that. So pretty nice stuff. And again, you can change up the colors. Atmosphere, you can do things like atmospheric scattering, atmospheric tint. These are the two things that are slightly more complex. It might not make sense, you know, in the real world. So, you know, the sun color makes sense to everybody. Atmospheric scattering, not so much, but it's one to play with. It's one to kind of start to tweak. You might find that the colors of shadows start to change slightly. The color of, you know, when you tint, like certain reflections start to look different, things like that. So there's the finer detail, the finer tuning side of it you see there. As always, we've got the fog. So fog, again, split into four kind of basic areas that we had before. The distance, the density, the fall off, and what color it is. Clouds are very different now. So before we had predefined sky boxes where you'd pick rainy, gloomy, whatever it is you wanted to do. Now we don't really have that drop down sense. You build the entire sky dome yourself. So here, if we make it much cloudier, we'll see kind of that we start to get a little bit kind of more dense cloud there. We can change the coverage to drop off or kind of sit in the middle there. We can lower the altitude to make the clouds look really much lower or higher. Things like that. So you can really fine tune the way the sky dome itself looks, which is, again, pretty cool. And there's always sky elements. So we have things like the sky mesh. I think currently still an asteroid belt that you can set, but you could set an asteroid belt in the sky if you like for this space. Or a couple of horizons to kind of control kind of how you want the lower horizon and the top of the horizon to look. Certain things like that. And then finally our post-processing. Again, always a really nice way to make the games look and feel very different. So you can do cell shaded, instantly get that cell shaded feel for your game, which is pretty cool. Technicolor. I think warm looks pretty good on this one. So if we go to default and we'll go a warm color grade. Okay, again, you get that kind of more eccentric, like an orange glow. I can see that Adam's done some funky things with the lights back here. So yeah, you can really quickly, we've been building this game. I've just been waffling away and Adam's been building it for about, what would you say, about 20 minutes, 25 minutes at this point, and we're really creating something that looks pretty spectacular.
Yeah, 20 minutes.
Yeah, I think it looks great.
Pretty cool.
Pretty cool. Right, okay. So that's
The sun may be a bit too orange. Can I just
yeah,
turn
you
that?
can change that
A little bit.
So obviously, yeah, a lot there you can play with. It's a very, very quick run through that, but it's a really nice way to make the game, you know, kind of really feel unique. It's worth noting that any or most existing games on the current live game will retain their legacy Skydome, so don't worry, tomorrow your game isn't going to instantly look very different. It will keep its old one. If it's a game that's been worked on, you know, recently, then you'll be fine. So I think most people in chat here who have played games before will
Don't panic.
Don't panic. It got very foggy very quickly.
Don't panic. Just keep talking and look.
So yeah, so most people who are around here who have edited their games, or you know, have done enough editing in their games recently, won't be updated. It'll be absolutely fine. You know, there shouldn't be any cause for concern. So don't worry. If you do want to upgrade to the new system, then there's a one-off tick box that you can check in the editor that will essentially unlock the new options for you, and then from that point there's no going back. So it is a decision you'd have to make. I'd recommend everyone give it a go, and I'd highly recommend you know, trying to recreate what you had before with the new system, and really trying to embrace the way that Crayta works there. I see AJ is about to start a new Battle Pass giveaway, so keep an eye out in chat for that code. Okay, right. What's next on my list of things to go through? We're going to have a look at photo mode, but I think we'll save that to the end actually, once we've got a little bit of an environment to play in. So the combat update. So the combat update is a really big part of what we've been working on for this release. We were aware that obviously the combat was pretty popular in Crayta, and it was okay. You know, it served a purpose. It served what we could do. But obviously, again, being built on the Unreal 4 engine, there's a lot of power we can harness there in terms of the feeling of combat. You know, some of the best shooters available from the AAA world and the indie world are built on Unreal. So we really wanted to harness some of the stuff that we could do there. And you know, we've got a highly experienced team in the world of shooters. You know, some of our kind of team members have spent years making shooters in the games industry. So yeah, but really harness some of that power, and there's a lot of really good stuff coming with this update. So things like high fidelity hitboxes, so no more shooting the capsule around the player. You have to, you know, hit specifically the player character itself. Alongside that, we've obviously got things, updates to the API that will report back to the code exactly where they were hit. So I don't know if we'll get time tonight, but one thing me and Adam were thinking about doing was perhaps messing around with that a little bit. So if you shoot someone in the leg, they might ragdoll for a few seconds. I think that might be quite a fun little thing to do. So you get a lot more options you can do there. Critical hits, you know, critical hit in the head will literally be a hit in the head. It's no longer the trigger box around the head. There's quite a few things there. I've got a little video I'm going to play actually. The mics and everything should stay on, but I'm just going to roll this video. So while this is on, you can see here that the character is actually shooting. Well, you see while this is playing actually that the red indicates that you're only getting that kind of feedback that you're going to hit the player when you're looking at them specifically. As soon as you go away from the character, you're going to miss, and you can shoot through their legs, you can shoot past their shoulder, things like that. So it works really quite nicely with the way that kind of you'd expect shooters to work. It feels a lot more realistic. Pretty cool. We have updates to the stock weapons, so the guns, the pistol, the shotgun, I think the rocket launcher, all the things that are the stock ones that we have in chat, so that we have in the community store that come with the starter games, or that you might want to download into an empty game. So they've been updated to embrace a lot of this new stuff. So the new stuff including things like combat. Essentially stand on a launch pad, and it launches you, and the camera wobbles as you launch, and you know, you can do it for speed, you can do it for all sorts of different things. So pretty cool stuff. Recoil, the guns now have decent recoil. There'll be retained kickback. The guns will recoil left and right. The characters will aim down sights a lot more kind of accurately. The players, the animations have been tweaked and the poses of the players have been tweaked to make sure that the gun's always aiming to the center of the screen. So little bits of feedback like that and little bits of fine tuning, all wrapped up into a massive update for combat. So how do you get the update? So the way it works is any new starter game or any new game that either uses store assets from the store or comes with the starter template will already have this sort of stuff in. So it's essentially an update to the gun package. If you already have a game, then you should find that what you'd need to do, if you haven't made any changes to the gun pack itself, if you've just kind of had the gun installed into your game, then you can go to the community store and update your package, and it should just bring everything through that you need, and you'll get instant use of things like the camera shake and the recoil and all that sort of stuff. Oh, and ammo as well. We have limited ammo now built into the system, so part of the kind of the user template and the gun working together is it will store kind of how much ammo the player currently has. A lot of things like that. So if you have made changes, it might be a case if you want to revert the package and then update, but you can save off your changes in the meantime and re-update them. It might take a little bit more work, but I imagine most people who have made changes to the package would be confident enough to kind of pick and pull the bits that they want. So yeah, really quite cool update. As I say, it's there as a package you can update, but all of the API we use is available for players to use in various different ways. I'm interested to see how players can use the sort of the new recoil stuff, for example. How might that benefit you in an obby or a tycoon game? There's things you can do with the player kind of pulling the camera around and doing the recoil stuff. But yeah, pretty interesting thing to think about. Cool. How we look at it's looking awesome. Just like, again, I love these sorts of streams where I'm just like nattering away, and then before I know it, there's the skyscrapers and there's really nice world settings. It's looking really cool.
How much have we used this city buildings pack? I think it's time for a new city buildings pack.
I think it's time, yeah. Maybe a community-led city buildings pack. It does look great, like with the way the sun. I love the way the sun like reflects off the windows as you kind of pan left and right. If you kind of get your camera just right.
Yep. If you come to the beach, kind of at the lifeguard chair and look back, or yeah, where you are and looking back, that's probably the best view, isn't it?
Yeah.
In that sort of area.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Just need to build up these sides a bit. You see, between the beach wall and the buildings themselves, I'm not quite sure what to do there. But we'll work something out. Actually, yeah, I've got an idea.
Cool. Okay, well, I'll leave that with you. And I guess while doing that, I want to talk about the next big thing. So another massive update that's coming with the update tomorrow. So we see a lot of players make games, and we see a lot of players do some really interesting ways to explain to players how to play their games. And it's a really big part of Crayta actually is kind of the help and the onboarding. And we've done a lot of work ourselves on the hub to try and explain to players how to play Crayta and how to really make the most of the experience. So we figured actually what would be really helpful is to give creators the same options and similar options for when they're creating their own games. So if we go to the advanced mode again and we go to the games tab up here, we'll see we've got a few new options have appeared up here. So we have pages, control schemes, and loading screens. So this is a really nice way that we can kind of offer creators the chance to expand the way that they can explain to new players or existing players how to play their specific game. So I'm thinking things like Stack Scrappers, for example, a really fantastic game by Dry Coast and Serial. But initially, unless you have it explained to you, there might be a few things that you're a little bit stuck with. How the game works, what is the magnet doing when it comes to grab you, things like that. A lot of the tycoon games, the Sovereign Games guys make some really great tycoon games, and again, they do a fantastic job of explaining how to play it. But what we thought would be nice is get that information into a more official sort of places, so the loading screens, an instruction page, control scheme, and really help players and creators to explain how to play people's games. So let's just talk through what these things mean. So what is a page? So a page is essentially a title, a text, and an image. And this kind of forms the wizard of the game. This is the step-by-step how to play the game. So if I don't know if we have any, or I might have done some before actually. If we go and look at Canyon Miners, I think I'd set some up before. So Here we can see that if we look at a game, we have a help text up here at the top. Like, oh, of course, there's no instructions available. It's probably been wiped since I did it. So let's just go and set. So we'll set some up here quickly. I think, yeah, we can preview the help here now, actually. So I'm going to do this as page 1. Okay, and the title is going to be, we'll just say, we'll leave it as capture the flag. And we can see that the default already is capture the enemy flag while protecting your own. Okay, you can then select an image. So if you've uploaded an image through the companion site, you can select that to be kind of part of the image that appears for this page. Okay, I can add another element here. So I'm going to add a second page to this. And we're going to call this something like, I don't know, return the flag. So make sure you return the flag to base. Okay, that would be my second page. If I preview help, here we go. So this is showing me exactly what I would see. So we get the capture the flags. These are my titles that appear at the top, and then my text appears down the side, and this would be where my image would appear. So again, it's a nice way to kind of facilitate what the text is saying. It might be showing you what the flag looks like, for example, in this case. Okay, and next, return the flag. So when I say a wizard, this is what I mean. It's essentially the way to think of the pages are the information should lead into the next thing. So try to kind of think of it as a story. You know, if you're explaining to a player how to play the game, the first page kind of needs to lay down the ground rules. Perhaps it needs to explain the very kind of first things the player should know. Then you work through the pages, and each page should kind of feed off the previous page. Okay, so there are pages. We have control schemes. So control schemes are, again, a really nice way to explain to players what the various buttons should do. So the way that Crayta works is that players, or at least the creators, don't determine exactly what a button would do. So they wouldn't say E does this. They would say that interact does this. And then the players essentially assign what they want interact to do as a prompt. So the way to think of it is you need to bind your controls to these individual things. So interact, jump, crouch, you know, primary, secondary, things like that. So let's have a look at what the controls look like. And note that you can have more than one control scheme, because again, games will change their control scheme based on context to what the player is doing at the time. So for example, imagine in I don't know, something like Tumbleweed Ridge, you know, being in the mine might be very different to being in the farm. So interacting with the shops, interacting with the crops might have a certain set of controls, whereas being in the mine, swinging axes and collecting treasures might have a very different set of controls. So you kind of want to have a control scheme for each specific part of the game. We'll see a few here already populated. So again, the starter games come with this information baked in, and then it's up to you to change it if you'd like, or remove it entirely. So let's say we added a grenade to the game, and we wanted that to be on extra 3. So extra 3 by default is the G key, so most players will leave that, but I'm going to bind it to the extra 3 key, and that will be throw grenade. Okay, these are text fields, so it also allows me to provide the various translations for it across the supported languages. So Spanish, French, Italian, and German, or Dutch. So there's a lot of different things we can do there to kind of provide translated options. If you have something that's a fairly common control, if we click down on the action here, you can actually select from a predetermined list. So this predetermined list is actually pre-translated things that we have kind of built into the game. So let's say, for example, you had G was, or extra 3 was the use item. Okay, you can select use item. You notice it grays out, and that's because this is using the predetermined option that comes with all the translations built in. So we've tried to provide some options here for players to just pick from a list of common things, and that's contextual, I believe. So primary will kind of suggest use and fire weapon, or fire weapon and, you know, fire and use weapon first, whereas something like jump will suggest jump first. So it kind of, it knows, it assumes, typically players would press space to do jump, but you might want to rebind it, you might want to play with it. And then again, once you've kind of played with that, if you go to preview controls, it works quite nicely here. So it shows you the various controls on screen, and it's contextual to what you've pressed at the time. So if I just wiggle my controller, we'll see that I get an option to show me here what the buttons would be on the controller. And if I move my mouse, I go back to the mouse. And this, if I was in kind of the true version of the game, it would give me kind of the various, R is reload, space is jump, that sort of thing. So a really nice way to explain how the controls work. And then finally, the last piece of the puzzle is our loading screen. So the loading screen, again, it's a really nice place to kind of offer instant information to the creators. So let's say you've got someone who's loading into your game for the first time. The loading screen can give you quite a lot of information. So we have added by default, it will show you the name of the game you're going to, the creator name, and I think there's another thing I can't remember now, but it will also potentially, if you have them set up, it will show you loading screen images. So the loading screen images could be, a beautiful screenshot of the game. It could have some information baked into it. But I think the way that we'd expect players to use it, and I think the best way to use it, is to just have it as an image. So imagine this is my screenshot and this would be my loading screen. Because the way the game works, I believe I'm right here, is the pages will actually then display over the top. So the pages we mentioned before in that sort of wizard setting will actually appear on the loading screen. They'll appear in a slightly smaller format. They're not going to take up the whole page. Sort of on the left-hand side, they'll go through the information that you've set. So that the pages are really kind of crucial to getting information to the players, because it's not just about kind of that players hunting for that information, but it will be fed to them instantly before they've even loaded into the game. So they can really be kind of made aware upfront about the sorts of things that you can expect them to play. So yeah, I think it's a really cool feature, and I'm really excited to see kind of how different Crayta look. Every time you go play a game, it's going to be a different loading screen, it's going to be different information. It's going to be really quite cool to see how diverse the whole sort of system becomes. I'm really looking forward to it. Right, how are we doing? It's looking awesome.
We're doing well.
I think we're doing well, aren't we?
I think it's looking pretty good. How much time we got? Yeah, we might not have time to do the custom logic like you said, with shooting legs and things. Yeah, we now need to kind of work out the bounding area of all this and where players can actually play and how we kind of mark that off.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. So, I mean, we kind of want players to use the beach.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it would be...
I think definitely use the beach. We can make it look like a little bit of a police scene on the roads.
Yeah.
So we can have some roads closed up a bit.
So perhaps red flag can be down by the water. Oh, I like how you've done wet sand and dry sand. That's very clever. Like a moving tide.
So would red flag be by the water? I thought we were going across ways.
Well, I'm just thinking,
I don't know.
Because if we need to use the beach space,
yeah, true. You wouldn't use it much.
You wouldn't use it if you've got, unless we kind of forced players in imagine they start behind the buildings and then you have to go via the beach because it's all blocked off with stuff.
Sounds possible, but difficult.
Fighting up and down the beach might be the way to do it.
I was kind of imagining if we have the flags around where the first row of palm trees are with the lights on.
Yeah.
And then you either fight down the road and kind of in front of those buildings or on the beach, but down the middle is harder.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So you could go
sense.
direct, but it's harder, or you could then go around the beach. Yeah, I get you. Okay. That makes sense. I'll set the spawns if you've already done it, but the spawns could probably be...
I've not done that.
Like round the corner on the side, couldn't they?
Probably need to block up the ends a little bit more as well. What's a good way of doing that? Got some nice traffic lights that hang over the thing now.
I think skyscrapers is the best way to do that. Just drop
Oh
a
yeah, yeah.
skyscraper in.
But like we can use these traffic lights as well because they're nice.
Yeah. Right. Okay, if anyone has any questions about everything we've just run through, then do just shout out in chat, and I'll do my best to answer any of those questions and show them off. But as I say, this is going to be live tomorrow, around 3 o'clock BST. So there'll be a maintenance window from 2:30 to 3:30. May open a little bit earlier, depending on how things go. So we're only down for about an hour, and then this will all be live. So yeah, really excited to see how we're getting in there. Trico says, love the new car meshes. Yeah, so if you missed it at the start, these cars do also come as a kit. So the steering wheel, the wheels, the doors are all separate, so you can really start to modify and do those. We can go for like was it the Division? We go for the feel of the Division with like open doors for cover, right? That's, remember that E3 where everyone went mad because
Oh yeah.
the guy, like the character, went around the car and shut the door, and everyone was like, "That's so cool." For some reason, that was a cool thing.
Okay.
Okay, so start do. So yeah, I think if we start like right at the back and kind of around the corner, because you don't want players to spawn and see the flag straight away, right? It's kind of got to have that separation to give the chance for someone to steal it.
Yeah.
Draco says, I may have taken the day off work for this tomorrow. Well, I expect to see plenty of games by the evening. Then AJ's going to be looking for games, so if you do have games that you've updated, then let us know in Discord. Even if it's a shooter that exists and all you've done is updated the gun packages to get the new guns in, then drop them into Discord, let us know, and we'll play those on stream tomorrow. It'd be really cool to see how quickly we can get a load of the gun games really up to date, really up to speed with all of the new changes. We'll show some of the changes actually in a minute when we get to have a little preview between the two of us. We'll do some shooting of each other. What should the flag be? Maybe chat can let us know. The flags, I feel like they need to be Neon Coast themed, right? What could we make those?
Yes, that's a good point. Neon Coast. Well, we can now filter, can't we, by Neon Coast?
The kayak, massive kayak on your back. Oh, a big
I
jumbo
quite
ice
like the
cream.
beach ball. Jumbo ice cream, yeah, that's
Oh,
cool.
it's about the same dimension as well as the flag. Like it's the
Or
same
the
sort of
ice cream.
height. Yeah. Capture the ice cream. That could work.
Oh, I've got to put some inflatables in the sea. Oh, you have put some inflatables in the sea.
I've put some in. Oh yeah, those three. Just hanging out.
Well, it never hurts to have a few more. Gotta get the donut, gotta get the banana. If I increase the fog a little bit. I think that'll do. Oh, we've got a kayak as well that we can put out there. Shame we didn't have that much time being a stream because it'd be really cool to build a roller coaster and stuff.
Yeah, I mean maybe we can spend a bit of time on this tomorrow, perhaps.
Yeah, potentially. When you say we, you mean you. So
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So yeah, I could spend some time on this tomorrow. Okay, so do we want to get some more weapons in here? I guess we can add the other things. We updated the dimensions, so things like the shotgun is updated, and the pistol. Let's add these things in as weapon pickups, perhaps. Maybe we could add the weapon pickups to the beach to encourage you to go and search the beach for those.
Yeah, that could be a valuable use of the beach.
Otherwise, you're just stuck with the start pistol sort of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense, I think. confused at what you're doing with the beach. There's like random props,
It was
like
kind
a
of
random piece of tiki bar that's just not really doing
I
anything.
was just throwing them down to show them off, and then half expecting to come back and have time to clean them up. But
Surfboard, that's good to chuck in the water.
Oh, the surfboard I found with when I was doing the sets for the trailer, it works really well with the weapon rack. To like stand this,
Oh, right.
they stand up in the weapon rack really nicely.
Oh, I'll give that a go.
Oh, this is like a little shop thing. Right, what was I doing? Oh, some pickups.
Surf. How do you spell surf? There we go.
Okay, got one there. So what we can have a look at here actually while I've got this open is some of the new ways the guns work. So we have familiar scripts. So as we say, we come to here and we can see we've got the gun script, the inventory item spec script, the pickup spawner script, and the iron sight script. So these are all familiar scripts for anyone who's seen the gun package before. The new things we can see here are the recoil script and the aim assist script. So let's take a quick look at how this works. This is one that isn't for the faint-hearted. It's a pretty intense amount of code in the way it works. It's using some new API calls. So for kind of people, designers and beginners and things, this is a really good kind of script to just use the properties for. Play with the properties and kind of adjust how the way that works. For the kind of serious coders out there, this is a really good script again to pick apart and learn a little bit about vector maths and all that sort of stuff. So highly recommend spending some time looking through this script. I think Barry did a lot of these. Barry's done a really good job of explaining with tooltips the various ways that the properties can affect things. So if you're not sure what it's going to do, just hover over it. So for example, the can return. We hover over that, it says if true, the aim will try to return to where it was before the recoil took place. So if you can imagine you're shooting a weapon, it's going to climb up. If you want it to then try and attempt to come back to where it was, if you shoot too much, it's not going to make it all the way back down unless you tweak the parameters to allow it to do that. But essentially, yeah, you kind of do want it to come down. Things like that, there's a lot of options there to play with. Hover over the properties and it will explain to you how that sort of works. Dry Coast says make a voxel sandcastle for cover. You could make like a massive one, like big sand, like a literal castle.
Could do that.
We have to look for the new API calls in here. So I noticed one of them is on here on the characters. This is a player template thing, not a user, called adjust aim. So it's a new API call that does just that. I think the API stuff on this build is not great, but essentially that's how we're kind of going to pull the aim around. So it's not about, we have the set look override on the user, which is one way to control that, but actually the adjust aim has a few options that you can pass to it. For example, an easing option, so to ease in and out of that change, and kind of how much to return by. So you don't necessarily, it's not like a one-way thing. It's essentially how we can kind of create that recoil effect. Quite a lot of maths, quite a lot of things to pick apart in here. But as I say, if it's the sort of thing that you're interested in, highly recommend pulling this apart and learning a little bit about how it all comes together. And then we have the aim assist script. So the aim assist script, essentially, this is the side of it where, when you hold down the iron sight or when you hold down secondary, it will try and target a player. So kind of aim assist for a controller, things like that. This is the script that handles all that sort of stuff. And this is now using, I believe, the new, rather than doing the look override stuff, it actually does the aim assist side of things. So the way that we kind of pull the player's sight around is actually quite different now. So again, really good script to pick apart and play with. If not, just trust that it works pretty well. We've done a lot of testing with this with the parameters that are there by default. So it's a really good script to kind of just trust the guns feel okay to start with. And if you really want to experiment with it and go wacky, then obviously that's great. You can create some really fun sci-fi super blaster type things. pull some random shotguns around. It's worth mentioning again with all the combat stuff that Matt, our audio director, has done a fantastic job revamping a lot of the stock sounds. So gun sounds, reloads, explosions, ricochet effects, all those sorts of things have been slightly revamped and reworked in a way that they work with the engine much nicer. So you'll hear gunshots in the distance rattling around, and yeah, I think the general feel of combat is going to be so much better now. So yeah, highly recommend anyone with existing combat games to go in, update your guns, republish, and have a little play around with some of the properties to create some really fun, funky new ways that the games can work. Okay, what's our other package? So I think just gun as well. So we get the AKs around. Okay.
Okie dokie. I need to work out how to close up these areas now. Close up the combat area.
Oh, it is warm here.
Yep.
I'm like, what, it's 20 past 8 and it's like still 26 degrees or something. Weltering.
A weird random heat wave.
Yeah. I feel like we always get this like mid-September where like the weather just forgets that it's not supposed to be this hot anymore.
Yeah. Right, how do I block in this road a bit more?
Ooh, nice.
Maybe some police barriers, maybe make it look like a policey scene.
Yeah, that'd be good. Yeah, let's get these car doors open. So the nice thing with this sort of cover again is like the way that cover works in a combat game is going to be very different now. Because as we said before, it used to be you could shoot the whole capsule of the player, whereas now actually hiding the character behind something was going to really mean they're in cover because you have to shoot the character model. But that's a really big fundamental change the way combat works. And I think again that's a massive way it's going to kind of change things. Ingsy says it's too warm. It is too warm. It's nice. I'm not going to complain, but it is too warm.
I'm not going to complain, but it's too warm.
I'm not going to complain.
Sounds like a complaint.
Let's add in this fence.
I'm going to move the flag ice creams forward a bit.
Sure.
Where's the spawns actually?
They're like round the corner slightly. This is a red one. Just here near the red car where my drone is. Like behind the flags.
Behind the flags.
At the end of the road.
Oh, way around there. Oh, okay. I wasn't going to decorate as far as that. Do you mind if I move them?
You could move. Oh, all I'm thinking is you don't really want the line of sight to the flag where you spawn. Otherwise, it's impossible to escape with the flag, right?
Yeah. What if I move those onto the beach?
Ah, that's a good point. Yeah.
You spawn on the beach. You can run straight across the beach, or you can run up to the road.
You have to fight up the beach.
That's the kind of decorated area that I want to keep players in.
Yeah. Yeah, that could work.
Up to there.
It's about getting up the beach, getting the flag, and getting it over to your side of the road, sort of thing. Kind of, yeah. It's like it's not like a classic CTF style, but yeah, I like it. That sounds cool. Although we kind of need more cover on the beach, perhaps, because I think people are just going to start.
No, that was the plan. Yeah.
Either way, I'm trying to think what.
Yeah, I'll make a bit of a tiki bar thing right in the middle, maybe, and delete these random things you've placed.
Yeah, they're not that random,
That's okay. Well, those ones.
No.
Well, the DJ thing was.
The DJ thing is definitely random. Maybe I'll make this bit where I'll make this a little bit more proper.
I was gonna make like a big tiki bar so
Yeah.
that it can be like the central cover area.
Okay.
I think it'll work.
Go for it. Go for it.
Trust me. Okay, right.
If I was feeling super brave, I'd try and get Ed's roller coaster stuff working, but I just don't think I'm going to have the. I've got about what 15-20 minutes to get a roller coaster in.
Yeah, you know the bar that you did in the trailer. I was going to do something like that, where it's
Yeah.
like a big circular kind of
Yeah.
bar thing.
Go for it. I'm going to keep exploring the assets. In fact, while you do that, I'm going to do a little bit. I'll do a little bit of photo mode stuff.
Oh yeah,
through
that's
that.
a good idea.
So now we've got a little bit more of a finished level. So again, another thing that's coming tomorrow. So absolutely cram packed full of features this update tomorrow. But we have the new photo mode coming. So photo mode is a really nice way to get screenshots and assets outside, kind of from Crayta and share them on things like social media, on Discord, just to kind of generally take screenshots of the game. It might be a debug thing. It might just be showing off how fantastic you've managed to make your game look, things like that. And we figured, Neon Coast is a really nice setting for this sort of stuff. You can have like beach parties and take photos with your friends, or things like that. So there's a few things here to consider. Not every game will have photo mode enabled. So the default behavior for games, if we come up here, we can see that there's a couple of world settings available in here. So when the build goes out tomorrow, every single game will support photo mode. In general, it will, you can take photos in every game. Every game will not support the fly mode by default. So the fly mode allows the character or the player to actually take the camera and fly through the level. And obviously we're aware there's a lot of games that might kind of cause issues with. So for example, clipping through walls to find out the secret code for puzzles, working out the internal mechanics of games. Obviously it's a pretty game breaking thing. So every game will have photo mode by default, but every game will not be able to have the fly mode by default. So if you wanted to adjust either of those things, you just need to go into the editor, check whichever box applies, either remove both entirely if you don't want anyone to take photos in the game, or if you don't mind and you want players to fly around and take some of the kind of fantastic screenshots they'll be able to get, then check the allow fly mode, and then republish the game, and then it'll work from there. Photo mode works in editor as well, and to access it, if I just hit the P key, we'll see that I get a slightly modified view here. So we have a big kind of circle at the bottom, which will take the picture. I've got a left alt prompt at the side. And I'm now essentially in kind of, I guess, what we'd call advanced mode here. I'm able to move around and have a kind of pose up this picture however I'd like. Okay, let's have a look at some of the options we get. So we have a thing here called poses. So poses are a new equipable asset for characters. So we have obviously things like sprays, icons, drones, or the outfit. So we have a new thing which is called a pose. So these are things you'll be able to earn through the course of the battle pass. So various poses you're able to do. We get 2 by default. I believe you'll get Scream and My Hero as default ones. So everybody will get those, but you'll be able to unlock some new ones throughout the course of the season. And then obviously subsequent seasons will have season specific poses, and there's some really quite cool ones coming actually. It's quite a fun way to sort of play the game. You might have seen a little sneak peek of some in the trailer on the Polaroid section in the middle. So what we can do, we can click these and our character will enter the stance that we have selected. Some pretty funny ones here. Use pose camera option. So this is a nice little touch actually. The artists who have set these up have set up specific cameras that they think work best for these poses. So for example, My Hero, if I say on, I think it might just be for the screen, or it might not be working. If it's not working, again, as I say, this is just obviously internal build. That's the thing I forgot to mention at the start, is there may be issues throughout the course of the stream. So
oh no, you did mention.
I did mention. Okay, cool.
You did mention.
So clicking this should essentially position my camera in a way that would best show off the pose. So the screen one gets much closer to the face. It does like a slightly top-down angle, things like that. I may just be using it wrong. It may be working fine, and I'm just a beginner with it. Someone's going to tell me off, I'm sure. But let's have a look at what else we can do. So as I say, there's two modes to this. There's fly mode and selfie mode. So the selfie mode is what is enabled by default across all existing games and new games, and the fly mode is the one that's disabled. So fly mode is, as I say, that's the one where I can fly around and sort of position wherever I'd like. If I go to selfie mode, this essentially traps the camera to the player. So it's kind of like an orbit camera. Essentially I can't escape the radius of the player, but I can still do some pretty nice things. This camera will kind of be affected by the terrain as well. So you can see here that I can't look down through the floor. The camera is touching the floor there, so you shouldn't be able to clip through walls and things with this camera. When I'm ready to take my photo, I'm just going to press spacebar, and then we see that says that's saved. So that's saved to the local hard drive. If you're on the PC build, that will obviously save it to kind of your PC because you have it locally. If you're playing on Stadia, then what you can do is you can position it essentially in a way that you can press I to hide the interface, and you can use the screenshot button on the controller, or F12 on Stadia. Obviously getting screenshots through Stadia is a little bit more tricky because it being a cloud-based system, but we offer you the tools still obviously to get kind of the game working in a way that would offer you all the same stuff and get the fantastic screenshots out, so you can print screen it or take a Stadia screenshot and have it in your Stadia library. Let's get our interface back. So there's a few things you can play with, things like the field of view, the roll angle. I won't do this too much because I know that can be a little bit vomit inducing for some people to see it roll like that, so you can kind of position it, things like that. Selfie distance, so kind of similar to the field of view effect. Obviously the field of view looks like it's doing the zoom, it's slightly different. Okay, but you can create some pretty interesting effects there. And for the settings, we have things like a timer, so it will count down if you're trying to sort of time things with the photo. You can toggle thirds, so if you're really into photography, you can even get into the sort of details of your thirds lines and positioning things and your composition and stuff like that. And then toggle editor UI. If you turn this off, essentially toggle editor UI is the same as pressing I on the keyboard. But if we turn that off and then I close this, you'll see that that's how I get kind of a clean UI. And what you might also notice is something we've introduced with the hiding the interface button in general, is editor icons and trigger boxes and things also get hidden now by default. In the past, if you tried to take a screenshot, you had to turn those off individually. It would just be the 2D UI. Whereas if I press the I key now, that hides trigger boxes and it hides the editor icon. So a really nice little touch on top. I can see the Tiki bar taking shape in the background.
Yep, it's coming on.
Looking pretty good. Okay, let's.
My lighting tip for the Neon Coast is one pink, one blue everywhere.
One pink,
like I've done on those trees. Pink and blue is very strong colors for Neon Coast.
I can see
why I'm giving lighting tips. I'm not an artist, but yeah.
Well, I think you can see that influence in the hub, right? There's a lot of pink and blue out in the hub.
Exactly. I just copy what I see. I'm a fraud.
Oh, I was saying, assuming that was your influence in the hub.
Oh no, no, that was Lucy. I'm just copying. What are you up to, Russ, at the moment? Are you doing a thing?
I was just doing a little bit of this sidebar that I thought you were going to remove, but it still seems like it's here. So I guess it makes sense. This little bar near the road.
Oh, right. Sorry. Yeah. I left it because you seemed sad when I threatened to remove it. So.
I was a little bit sad. I spent ages making that. I didn't really. Robot waiters? Is that a thing? Do you want robots?
Yeah, why not? Right. I need to decorate this a little bit now with some bar things.
Oh, I can put some drinks and things around.
Yeah, go for it. Good chance to show all the different like drink assets we've got as well.
I like the Tiki Cups. I really want one of these, like in real life. The kind of wooden tropical drink cups. I think
Yes, they'd be pretty cool.
they'd be pretty cool.
It feels like the sort of thing you'd see on holiday, but I don't think I've ever seen one for real.
Yeah.
Oh, a cocktail shaker, that's good to go on the bar. Stick a few of those around. So yeah, I've done some shelves at the back of the bar that you can add stuff to as well if you want.
Ooh, nice. Oh, I'll have a go with some of the font actually. I'm going to write bar on
Oh,
it.
that would be cool. Just in case people can't work out what this is.
Yeah. So let's see.
Help identify it. Popcorn. They can have popcorn here as well. Why not?
Put the mecha spider waiter. Yeah, should we just have Mighty Co's spider walking around the beach?
Yes, definitely a good idea.
Beach patrol.
Yeah, tropical drink looks awesome. Put a couple of those on the back as well. This looking pretty cool. I like this. Oh, we need some bar stools. No one considered it at the moment, which is a bit of a problem.
My bar has bar stools.
Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. A 1, 2, a 3, a 4. Okay. Is your bar still there?
Yeah, my bar at the front with the robot. I'm going to try something. May or may not work. We'll see.
This gun pickup, shall I put it just inside the bar maybe?
Yeah.
Feel like more neon, but I don't know if this is gonna work.
Always more neon.
No, that's too much neon. Neon around here works. Oh, that bar sign looks cool at the top.
I'm going to do... Oh, see if it works. I'm going to try a rotate and move script and have it rotate.
Have we added a shark yet?
Oh, I don't know if I
I'm
have
gonna-
added a shark.
Can I add it to the top of the bar, or is that? Oh no, that'll clash with the sign.
That'll clash with the sign.
Maybe I'll. Aha! I have the perfect place. Okay, it's quite big. Have you watched The Boys on Amazon?
I haven't, no.
Ah, damn. Okay, I can't make the reference.
I have heard good things. Oh yeah, that works.
Okay, I've used the shark. I think it's really effective. What do you think? Oh, the bar sign's cool. I like that.
Okay, so I need to watch The Boys now and wait for the scene with the with the shark on a
Okay, no,
jeep.
that's not quite the reference. I was going to say a dolphin on a car.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Anyone who's watched it would get that. It's pretty funny, but it needs to be crashing into something.
Gotcha.
And now you're wondering what the hell kind of
Yeah,
superhero show this is.
now I really need to watch The Boys. Cool. Shall we have a preview?
Yes, have we not done one the
I
whole
don't
time?
think we haven't done one the whole time. So
Let's do one.
obviously one of the beauty benefits of Crayta is it does preview super quick. You can preview, almost instantly, so you don't have to wait this long. Check, we've almost got a finished game here. Obviously there's lots of polish we can do. This looks really nice.
Yeah, I'm quite happy with this. It's looking cool.
Okay, right, so I'll start with the pistol. So let me come and shoot you. We'll look at some of the combat updates. So we can see here, if you stand still,
Where are you?
there we are.
Sorry.
So we can see here that I'm getting the red dot only when I'm aimed at the character. The aim assist stuff feels much nicer now. It's a little bit less sort of snappy like it used to be. Oh, sorry.
Still, I'll shoot between your legs.
Accidentally
There,
shot
so
me.
I'm shooting right between your legs and it's not hitting you.
Yeah, I'm damaging the voxels I can see there and it's not hitting. So yeah, it makes gunplay feel much nicer. We can see the ammo in the bottom corner. So if you want to have limited ammo, you can set up a ammo template on the user. Otherwise, it's just going to be kind of unlimited. Oh, we probably need slightly longer rounds, actually, don't we? Oh, how does the ice cream look?
That's one thing.
One thought is you don't know which ice cream is yours with the way we've got the spawns.
True. I can change one of the colors. I don't know if that'll help that much. Could help.
Yeah, maybe. We actually don't know which team you're on though.
Oh, that was a good shot.
Maybe a little. Oh, you shot me. Yeah. Maybe an indicator would help. Right. So.
Bang, 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 bang.
The ice cream looks really good on the back.
Oh yeah. It's almost like a bad version of the ice cream outfit we've got in the battle pass.
Oh, I guess you do know which ice cream is yours.
That's pretty funny.
Because of the side you spawn on.
No! Come on!
Ah. I'm going to capture the ice cream.
Wait, you're going the wrong way.
Wait. Oh, it wouldn't let me pick up either. Wait. No.
Oh, really? You sure? That's odd.
Hmm.
What have we done?
Did we break? Wait, are you?
Why did we break it so quick?
You
I
actually,
can still pick yours
you
up.
actually scored.
Yes. Oh. Did I just score on killing you? Because I wasn't able to drop it off then.
Oh yeah, you
Have
did.
we
Yeah. Have we broken?
accidentally broken a property on the flag? Maybe? Are there errors? There's no errors.
There's no errors.
I reckon we've messed up a property on the flag so they're both like the same team or something.
Okay. Well, we can fix that. That's not what I guess the point of the stream is. We can have a little look, see what we've done. I wonder if it's something to do with like kind of the way, like the time I died after picking it up or something. Let's just go back. I'll make the round a bit longer and the respawns shorter on the weapons.
Yep, that's a good thing. And then another good thing is music and UI.
Yes, good point.
How did that end up like that? That should be out there. There we go. Oh, one of my lights had gone weird, but anyway, I fixed it now.
Do you want to pick some music to play?
I'll pick some Neon Coast music, and adjusting the UI a little bit is always a good thing, but maybe it's not worth doing right now.
Yeah, I think we'll try and get this polished up a bit, I think, to have it playable tomorrow for players. I think that'd be pretty fun.
Yeah.
In the meantime, let's do that.
Music tag. Wait, I'll have to turn up my music. Sorry if I can't hear you for a bit.
That's okay. Let's have a little look here. So, can you resize the letters, says Becky? You can't resize the letters because they're currently they're meshes, so they're kind of fixed in their size. We do offer a couple of different sizes. There's lowercase, uppercase. There's different things you can play with there. If you need a specific sort of size lettering, you can still do in-world widgets, so you can have signs and things made in UI that will obviously not have certain properties that the mesh does. So the mesh does have its slight neon glow and things like that, but yeah, it's all kind of obviously still available to do in UI. Another request incoming: can we make custom gun pullouts, for example the animation switching between guns? So no, they're all kind of built-in animations. There's no reason to say it won't ever be an option, but I think for now, yeah, the way that the player interacts with the guns is a built-in thing. You can't adjust. But I think, yeah, a lot of those have been slightly tweaked and refined, as I say. Kind of the way the characters hold the guns feels slightly different now, and all kind of really kind of ties together the big update. Just catching up here on chat. I think that's about the crux of it. People saying add a color light to it. Is that to do with the spawns? Yeah, it might be. Yeah, I wonder what did happen there.
Oh yeah, we should look at the properties on the flags. This is set to team 2. Other flag spawner says flag 1. That one says team 1. Other flag spawner flag 2. They're both looking pretty correct to me.
I changed them both to ice creams, and then I changed the... Oh wait, there is an error in the flag held template. I can't see what it is.
What do you mean, like a warning?
Like a red no.
I'm not seeing that.
Oh, weird. I'll revert it.
Copy that light over to the other one. Okay, so what team is what color? 1 is blue, 2 is red, is that right?
Let's go with yes.
Let's go with checking. Yeah, 1 is blue, 2 is red. So if, hang on. This always confuses me. So if you start there, you're blue. So do you want the ice cream you have to pick up to be red or blue?
You want to steal the other team's flag, right? So when you're blue, you want to pick up a red ice cream.
Okay, yeah, so this ice cream should have a very clear blue light. That's not very blue.
Does it not despawn and respawn them, or does it just hide them when you collect them?
I can't remember what the logic is on this.
I think it just hides it. I think that would make more sense, wouldn't it?
And that's a very clear red ice cream.
That is very much a red ice cream. Cool. Should we give this a go?
Yeah, why not?
And we'll probably look to wrap up anyway. So if anyone does have any questions, now's the time to get them into chat. If not, do head over to Discord, where we can do our best to answer them there. Right, so we should see some weapon pickups here. Any time between now and the first 30 seconds. There we go. The gun. Okay, so we can see a little bit more of the impact of the new weapons now. So if I aim down sights and shoot, we can see that the character's aim is kind of moving around a little bit more. It feels much nicer. We get a nice rumble on the controller with the kind of the obvious vibration feedback.
I captured your flag successfully then.
Can you? I'm over by the police car. Can you shoot me? Can you hit me?
No, because you're hiding too well. Do you want me to just kill you or what?
I'm just trying to hide best I can. Accurate piece of cover. I don't know where you've gone now. Oh, you're there. I thought you gone back to the beach. Okay, you managed to capture a flag, okay?
Yep.
Ow.
Oh, sorry. That was a bit harsh. Whee. Oh no, panic. Damn!
Panic.
I saw it crouched and then just fell into the bar dead.
You stole their flag.
Yeah, it's a bit unorthodox, but I like having the spawn to the side of the flag.
Yeah.
So I'm not just like spawn camping when I respawn, but yeah, it kind of works. No. No.
Oh, so
yes.
close.
Right, let's go for this ice cream.
Yeah, so now like you've got a bit of a chance to use the cover to get back across the beach now. shotgun. Wait, did you run yet? Are you still there?
Oh, this feels pretty cool. I see you with my flag. Oh no!
Just,
Oh no!
to see the ice cream like hovering around the cars.
No!
Oh, headshot.
I did have 6 health, so
No.
didn't stand much chance. Damn. Okay, 2-1. I see you've not got much health. I see I've not got much health.
I got a critical hit then.
Damn!
Just waiting for you to stand up.
Alright, you know what? I prefer the pistol, I think.
Oh.
Why were you hiding there? I was like on the side of me.
I was waiting for you to come up the beach. I had no idea you were there.
I am a tree. Ah!
I went for the slide.
Oh no, you see me. You see me. Panic. Okay, right. Over the bar.
Go for the shotgun.
No.
Nice.
There we go, it's 2-all. Hiding behind a lamppost is not good cover.
I'm just going to run it. Oh, I got to reload. That was bad.
Oh, I've got your flag. No!
Died on the bar again.
Get in the damn bar.
You had your leg stuck between the stool and the side. It looked pretty funny.
You did the same thing again, looking completely the wrong direction.
You're too fast for me.
Right, this is tense now. It's 3-2. Can I make it a draw?
4 seconds left.
I'd have to kill you.
Oh!
No! I was a meter away.
That was pretty close. Cool. Okay, well, you've pretty much made the whole map. But yeah, I think we've got a pretty good Neon Coast, maybe Neon Coast's first game. We'll see. So we can spend a bit of time with this tomorrow, perhaps tidying it up and getting it a bit more ready. Yeah, I think that's just about everything. We're pretty much at the end of the time here anyway. So awesome. Well, I'm just going to do a quick little recap there then. So thank you everybody for joining in. As I say, it's been pretty good. It's been pretty busy in chat. I've seen quite a few people in here, so thank you everybody for tuning in. Obviously Neon Coast is out tomorrow, as we say, so we can expect a warning in game from about 2:15 BST, and then from 2:30 to 3:30 the game will be closed for maintenance. That means you'll be kicked out if you're still in, and you won't be able to rejoin. And then you will be let back in, hopefully by 3:30, if not a little bit sooner. Just depends how smoothly everything goes. You know, it should be pretty quick sailing at this point. So yeah, you can use that time to kind of get ready, get excited, and see what else. Kind of see, hang out on Discord. Find people to hang out with and get ready to jump in as soon as the game is available again. So just a quick recap, obviously lots of amazing new features coming with the latest build. We've got the massive combat update, we've got all the new assets coming with the new battle pass, Neon Coast, we've got the new Sky Dome settings, we've got photo mode, we've got the UGC help, all sorts of stuff. So it's a really, really jam-packed update, so you can expect to see a lot of chatter on Discord tomorrow and in game, and yeah, hopefully players can go through. So to all the existing creators watching, make sure you do get in there, get your games updated, get loading screens in, get combat updates in, get Sky Domes updated. Really great chance to create some really fantastic looking games in Crayta. So if you haven't already, make sure you do head over and also find us on Twitter and Instagram. It's at Crayta Game on both of those platforms. And as always, follow us on Twitch and subscribe on YouTube. So all of these sorts of stream content, lots of video content, tutorials, highlights, things like that. AJ is going to be back tomorrow, so he's going to be kind of launching Neon Coast. Neon Coast launch day. It will be available, so hopefully we'll see lots of people in with their first few cosmetics unlocked for the Battle Pass. If you do have a game that you update, then let us know on Discord, and then we can look to play that on stream. We can showcase some of the new combat and the new things like that. So yeah, really excited to see what everybody does with Neon Coast. Thanks, Adam, for joining in. So it's always pretty good fun to get back together and make these quick little games.
Yeah, thank you very much. That was great fun.
Cool. Okay, all right. So as I say, make sure you tune in tomorrow with AJ stream, and I'll see you all later.